Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode 137. And I am Anisha, and I am from India. I am an aligned life coach for women who, feel unsure, overwhelmed, or, stuck in their life and who want to create an authentic and fulfilling life for themselves. So, that is a little bit about me. And before we begin the live, I would love to know about you, as in, which part of the world you are watching this from. And are you joining us for the very first time, or have you been here before? So feel free to drop in a hi until I share, what we do here in these lives. So, my dear ones, we usually start this live with a meditation. Hello, Heather. Heather is joining us from East Coast of the US. Beautiful. Welcome, Heather. And Heather, is this your first time? Because I do not recognize that name. Yeah, so I was sharing that we begin with a meditation around the quote that you might have seen when you opened Inside Timer app today. So we meditate upon that. And Heather says, no, I'm usually later coming in. Okay, you usually and join in towards the end. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And welcome back again. Paulette says, hi, I have been here before and I'm from Pittsburgh, PA. Wonderful. Welcome back, Paulette. I am happy that you liked the previous times and you decided to spend your time with me today. Okay. Yeah. So the first part of this live is a meditation. And then once we, feel more open, our vibrations has been raised, through the meditation, then we receive the higher wisdom that wants to come our way through a wheel. So we have a wheel of wisdom and we spin the wheel, and the wheel chooses a book for us. And then we play a game where I ask you guys to choose a number and then we do a reading based on that. Okay. So that is a little bit about what we do here. I will share more details when we get to each part. So for now, I would love to know, are you guys like ready for a meditation? And if you are, you can type ready in the comments to let me know, when you have settled in a quiet place or wherever you would like to meditate. And then we will begin with our meditation. Okay, beautiful. Heather is ready. And let me type in here so that in case anyone joins, they have an idea of what we are doing here. So we will begin with the meditation after I take a sip of water. So begin by coming into a comfortable position. You can choose to lie down or sit upright, whatever your body needs right now. As you begin to settle into this position, notice your eyelids getting heavier and heavier until they close all the way down. Your eyes are resting in the sockets. Know that you can come back to full attention anytime that you need it. But for now, rest your awareness on your breath. Noticing the air flowing in and out of your nose. With each exhale, feel your body relax more and more. Feel your mind settling, leaving you with a calm and peaceful state. And as you let go of your thoughts and the tension in your body, feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the surface beneath you. Today, we are going to meditate and absorb the wisdom from a timeless quote by Natalie Goldberg. The quote is: when you are present, the world is truly alive. When you are present, the world is truly alive. So today's meditation is for anyone who feels like life is passing by too quickly. For those who are physically here but mentally elsewhere. If your mind often rushes ahead into the future, replace the past, or fills the present with pressure and noise, then today's meditation is going to be for you. It's for anyone who is tired of living on an autopilot mode, constantly multitasking, always doing one thing after the next. It's for those who are longing to feel more alive more grounded, and more connected with life and with themselves. So, if you are that person, then you are in the right place. Our mind is busy narrating our life rather than experiencing it. The world continues, but we are essentially looking at it through a thick veil of our thoughts. And when we look at life through this veil, through this grey veil, the colors seems dull. The sounds are muted, and the wonder of the ordinary details is missed. The world appears dead or mechanical because our awareness is elsewhere, because we are living in our minds rather than in this reality. And to be present means dedicating our total non judgmental awareness to the here and now, to the taste of your coffee, the texture of your clothes, the sound of the rain, or the feelings in your heart. So, when this full awareness is applied to our life, then it's like we have this sharp focus, and the mundane details like light hitting a wall or the rhythm of your breathing. All of these simple pleasures suddenly seem rich, vibrant, and meaningful. So, to let this wisdom sink in so that we can live this kind of life, so that we can experience it fully, so that we can feel alive in each moment. I am going to repeat certain affirmations, and these affirmations are going to water and nourish the seed that you have planted through today's quote. I am going to repeat each affirmation 3 times. For the first 2 times, I simply invite you to listen and let those words sink in. And on the third time, I invite you to repeat them after me either whispering in your mind or out loud, whatever you prefer. So let's begin. When I slow my busy pace, I find calmness in this sacred space. When I slow my busy pace, I find calmness in this sacred space. Now repeat after me. When I slow down my busy pace, I find calmness in this sacred space. I don't need perfection to be at ease. This moment is enough to bring me peace. I don't need perfection to be at ease. This moment is enough to bring me peace. Repeat after me. I don't need perfection to be at ease. This moment is enough to bring me peace. I release the rush, the stress, the strive. Presence makes my spirit thrive. I release the rush, the stress, the strive. Presence makes my spirit thrive. Repeat after me. I release the rush, the stress, the strive. Presence makes my spirit thrive. I don't need to wait for tomorrow to start to live. This moment already has so much to give. I don't need for tomorrow to start to live. This moment already has so much to give. I don't need to wait for tomorrow to start to live. This moment has already so much to give. When I slow my racing mind, peace is the very first thing I find. When I slow my racing mind, bliss is the second thing that I find. When I slow my racing mind, love is the third thing I find. Each mindful step, each conscious breath brings my spirit back from the stress. Each mindful step, each conscious breath brings my body back from stress. Each mindful step, each conscious breath brings my mind back from stress. I easily find the time to simply be. Each mindful breath sets my spirit free. I easily find the time to simply be. Each mindful breath sets my spirit free. I easily find the time to simply be. Each mindful breath sets my spirit free. When I pause and truly see, the world wakes up and shines for me. When I pause and truly see, the world wakes up and shine for me. When I pause and truly see, the world wakes up and shines for me. I don't need more to feel alive. Wonder blooms each time I arrive. I don't need more to feel alive. Wonder blooms each time I arrive. don't need more to feel alive. Wonder blooms each time I arrive. This moment welcomes me home again. The here and now is my truest friend. This moment welcomes me home again. The here and now is my truest friend. This moment welcomes me home again. The here and now is my truest friend. You did great. And now it's time to come back, knowing that all these affirmations have been soaked in by the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. So come back to your body, waking it up by bringing small movements like wiggling your toes and your fingers, moving it in whatever direction it wants to be moved. Feeling the air against your skin, the sounds around you, and finally, when you are ready to fully come back, gently open your eyes. Arriving back in the space. Welcome back. You can hydrate yourself if you need that. If you guys feel like sharing your experience of the meditation, you're welcome to do that in the comments. I always love to know what resonated most with you. And if you had a favorite affirmation from the meditation, then you're welcome to, affirm it again in the comment section. And I see a lot of new people who joined us while we were meditating. So, welcome to you all. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. And in case you guys, miss the meditation, then I will share towards the end of this live where you can find the meditation. Okay, because we meditated upon today's quote, which I really needed in my life, you know, um, like more presence, because like for the last week, I have been like pretty less present and a lot more busy. I have been working on this new thing. I started my newsletter on 11th of November. So, it has been a lot of like setup and everything, and I've been super busy and everything. So, I needed this reminder because I haven't reached, the peak of, burning myself out. I have been working like crazy till 2 a.m. and everything. So, yeah, and since today, when I wake up today, I felt like I need a break, I need more pause, I need more presence. And when I opened that app, I saw this quote and I was like, wow, this is perfectly timed. So, so that's a little bit of my personal share before we dive into the readings part. And I'm going to quickly go through the comments and then I will, spin the wheel and choose the first book for today, so that each and every one of us can receive the message that we most need to hear. Okay, good morning, Chandan, and welcome. And hello, Michael. Michael says, I have just come from Lenny Kravitz's concert, but wouldn't miss this for the world. Oh, that is so sweet. And I hope that you had a lot of, fun. And now I hope that, you have a lot of fun also, but you feel more calm and relaxed as well through this live. Simon says, I came late for the meditation, but I'm happy that I discovered you. And I'm happy too that you're here, Simon. Thank you so much for joining in. I guess, I believe that you chose to tap in because you were meant to, be here and be guided through the meditations or the affirmations or maybe the readings that are going to come next. Okay. Um, and before I move on to the reading part, I did also wanted to share two resources for you if today's quote really resonated with you and if you also are, feeling a lot of busy with your life and you're feeling like you're not really fully soaking in, you are not fully present and not fully, feeling this beautiful life. So if you want to actually, take some action regarding that, then I do have like, two courses for you. So the first one that I'm going to share here is going to shift your mindset from this belief that I need to do more or achieve more or prove, to be happy, to be peaceful, to be this or that. So if you believe that, then I invite you to check out this course and, save it for later. And if you want to experience the beauty, the wonder of life as it is, to feel like those ads, especially the ads of some, eating stuff, some food stuff, where everything seems like, where you get this saliva or this watery mouth when you watch them. So if you want to feel your, if you want your life to feel like that, then I would, recommend you this course because I've included a lot of stuff to help you feel more alive again. So yeah, if you haven't gone through these courses, I invite you to check them out. And Michael says, I need to ground. It was invigorating, so I'm ready to land. Beautiful. Okay, so let's see what are the readings that would help us land in this moment. Okay, let me show you, beautiful people, the Wheel of Wisdom. So, this is our Wheel of Wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of 50 transformational books that I've came across in my own journey of healing and of personal growth. And now we are going to invite the universe, God, spirit, source, angels, ancestors, whatever you believe in, whatever you call it, to guide us to, choose a book for us from this wheel. And in order to receive that guidance, we first need to let the universe or God know that what is it that you want to receive guidance on today. So take a moment to think, is there anything specific going on in my life regarding which I would love some guidance, some support? And if there is nothing specific, then simply ask the universe, simply ask God or source that what do I need today? And be open to receiving, you know, that wisdom that is for your highest good. And once you have thought of something, either something specific or something, a general intention to be open to receive, let me know in the comments by typing ready so that, we can spin the wheel and choose a book for all of us. Okay, Michael is super, super duper ready. Beautiful. Hello, Yadira, and Yadira is ready as well. Okay, wonderful. So, I invite you guys to hold whatever it is that you guys have thought of in your mind as we spin the wheel. Chandan is ready as well. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so holding in your awareness what you need guidance on as we spin the wheel. It is interesting, the book that came up, I was reading, someone else's newsletter today, and that book was in the photo, and this is the book that came up again. Okay, so the name of the book that came up is The Things You Can See Only When You Slow Down. I guess the universe really, really wants us to slow down, especially, since the season is of, transitioning into the stillness. And the universe is asking us to get inspired from the seasons, from the nature, and to just take some mini pauses in your life. So, and the reading might be something different, but that's what came up for me as I read the title itself. So, again, the things you can see only when you slow down. How to be calm in a busy world. And this book has been written by Haemin Sunim. Am I muted? Uh, am I not audible for everyone? Can other people also let me know because it seems like I'm muted for Kathleen? Okay. Okay, thank you, Mary Pat and Heather. So maybe okay, since Kathleen cannot hear me, let me type it. Thank you, Adira, for letting me know. Maybe it is her internet connection. Let me type it in the comments for her. Yeah, sorry, I didn't saw those messages. Michael says she will just need to leave and come back. Yeah, exactly. Okay. No, that's not a problem, Kathleen. Okay. Um yeah, give me a second to open the book now. Um and until I open a book, you guys take a pause instead of doing something else. Take a pause. And now I'm choosing some numbers to play a game. Okay, my dear ones. So, the instructions for this game is I am going to ask you guys, each and every one of you, to choose a number between certain numbers, okay? And I do not want you guys to rush at all. Instead, take your time and see which number comes up for you. And then share that in the comments. And then I will go through all your numbers and pick a number that my intuition is feeling called to. So, in this way, we will get to tap into this collective wisdom so everyone receives that guidance that we need. Okay. So, I invite you guys to choose a number between 20 to 114. Here you go. Thank you, Michael, Simon. Mm. My throat is getting a little hoarse, as the weather is setting in. Thank you, Heather, Chandan. Anyone else who would like to share a number and receive a reading? Thank you, Megan. A lot of double numbers today. Okay, okay. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, okay. Mhm. So now let's go through the numbers and see which number am I feeling most called to. Okay. So the number that I'm feeling most called to, and the number that has been chosen twice by Yadira and Karen, is 55. Okay, so let's see what really wants to come through this page since it is resonating with three people here. So thank you, Karen and Yadira, for choosing that number. Let's see what is on page number 55. So the author says, do you want to be happy or do you want to appear happy? Do you want to be happy or do you want to appear happy? Never mind what the world tells you to do to be happy. Be truthful to yourself and discover what you really want. Choose happiness, not success, as your life's goal. If you become successful but aren't happy, then what is the point? There are those who wants to become successful in order to thumb their noses at the people who looked down on them. But what happens after you achieve success? What do you do after proving that they were wrong? If you want to truly succeed, don't use anyone else's yardstick. So I guess this reading can be summed up in a line that find your own happiness. And you don't need to compare your life with anyone else or prove that you are capable or good or worthy to anyone else, no matter what they have said or, done, no matter how small anyone has ever made you feel. Because if you made that your standard, if you made that your yardstick, then the success that you might get, and you might get that because you had that fire in you to prove yourself, but that would not bring you happiness. And if it doesn't, then what's the point? So, let me know if this reading resonated with you, Karen, Yadira, and anyone else. And it perfectly, blends in with the course that I shared, with the mindset that I shared with you guys. When we always start, we always keep on chasing even happiness in the future. When I have that, when this happens, and why we do that is because society has told us that that's how you become happy that's how you become happy when you have that, rich people are happy, or successful people are happy and all of that. So shift that mindset and then decide for yourself what is it that makes you truly happy. And you will find that always, you know, it doesn't always rely on those big achievements. But you will notice that in your life you have been happy with those simple pleasures. When there has been like very cold days for a while, and then you get that sunlight on your face and it feels so warm and cozy. And there has been so many other moments like this in your life. So, you know, in the larger term, also find your happiness. Like, what is it that truly fulfills you? So that will give you a direction. And in the small terms, also find your little pieces of happiness that are already here in this moment, which you do not have to wait until you achieve this very big thing, until you make this thing that would make you truly happy, even if you have find your own definition of it. But you can move towards it. It would provide you the direction, but continue to find that happiness in small moments right now as well, because it already is here. So why, ignore it? So yeah, and before I go on to the lovely comments that are here, in case you want to dive into this, because I actually did a whole series of 6 days on this particular thing, then if you want to really learn what I mean by finding your own happiness, creating your own definition, and not living by societal standards, and what would really bring you true happiness. So, if you want to explore all that, then I have a free resource for you guys, which you can find. Let me show you. Yeah. So, you can go to my profile. Okay. Go to the About section here, and towards the end at the bottom, you will see this. And here you will find, that 6-day challenge that we did. And I've renamed it as, the end of the year challenge because we did it in December and it was focused on, reflecting on the past year and starting the next year and, discovering all the things that would bring you true fulfillment and happiness and meaning. So, yeah, if you want to, dive deeper into that and rewatch that whole live, then you can do that here. Okay. Now that I've shared with you the resource, in case you want to dive in case this resonated, let me read the comments and then we will move on to the second reading. Okay, so Michael says success generally synonymous with reputation, others' opinion of us. Exactly, in society we call that a success, when other people think that we have, made it. We have that dream house, we have that dream job or flourishing business or whatever it is that you're doing. When we have a family, and when our children are doing good, maybe, and see how the yardstick keep on moving. Every time we reach a stage, there is this another standard that we have to meet to be successful in the eyes of the society. Okay, yeah, coming back to Michael's comment. And Buddha named that as one of the greatest attachment. Our attachment to reputation is never a cause of happiness because it is impermanent, right? It is transitory, and whatever is impermanent cannot, if it is here right now, it will someday vanish away, or and it doesn't, it won't last because, there's this thing. There was a research done, which revealed that whenever anything happens, in our life, whether it is bad, whether it is good, if something very good happens, like you win a lottery of $1 million, then you're going to be very happy for a while and, you know, you're going to be excited and you're going to be like, okay, yeah, this is beautiful. But after like maybe 6 months or so, you will reach back to that same happiness level. So there is this happiness set point that we all have. And similarly, if something bad happens to you, you are going to be miserable. It is going to be hard. It is going to be full of suffering, maybe. But after a while, you're going to go back to that happiness set point, and you're going to go back to that level that you used to be. So, so whatever you're depending on for happiness, first of all, that is impermanent. And, you know, and you cannot be always happy because because happiness is like this energy, okay? And your body cannot hold this much energy all the time. And that is why your emotions are going to fluctuate. You're going to be happy, you're going to be sad, you're going to be numb, you're going to be neutral, you're going to be irritated. So, so that's why I don't use the term happiness so much because it is an emotion and it varies. And I usually do use the term, fulfillment because that is like the sense of feeling, whole or full or satisfied with your life in a way. Okay, well, thank you, Michael, for that beautiful share. And Michael says, I find allowing myself to be happy is what leads to happiness. Being in life is equals to happiness. Exactly. What we meditated upon today. Instead of living in your mind, live in your life right now. And here in this moment is true happiness. And and you need to allow yourself to notice that because you have that choice, you have that power to say to yourself that I allow myself to be happy, to notice all the wonderful things that I have right now, instead of focusing on the things that I don't have, instead of, um, living the past or the future. Karen says, definitely resonates, trying to find my happy. Oh, Karen, yeah, I'm happy that you're taking that step to first explore that because that is a very big step in itself because most of the people don't even recognize that and they spend their whole life living by someone else's standard. So, yeah, Karen, a big win. And you have also identified one of the things that stops you from being happy, which is comparison. And it is easy to fall into that trap because our mind is looking for differences very often. It's kind of default setting. We look for differences between us and others, between people. And that's why there has been all this conflict and war and all of this stuff happening because we are looking for the differences rather than the commonality of being a human that we all suffer and we all just want to feel happy and to have peace. So yeah, and comparison in that terms also like feeling behind and everything. And Karen, I would love to have a talk with you regarding that if you are willing to. You can message me or something. Okay. Or maybe towards the end, I will share how you can reach me. Okay. Ranjit says, find spiritual journey. So that is how you have been on this path of finding happiness, Ranjit. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Karen. I so appreciate it. I'm glad that the space and reading resonated with you. And I would look forward to having a chat with you. Okay. Now, my lovely ones, time for second reading, right? But first, water. My throat is like giving up on me. I don't even have a cold. I don't know why. I sometimes play with this like this. It's not very clean, but yeah, there's this mirror, so I do this sometimes with my mom or something. Like I'm putting this on. Okay, I don't think you can see the reflection, or maybe yeah, but I put it on a wall. I'm like this, like I'm going to do this, and you're going to catch the light. So yeah, find your own happiness in silly, fun ways. You don't have to be that serious grown-up adult that society has told you to be. Okay. So, for the ones who joined us just now, I invite you guys to take a moment to think what do you guys want to receive some guidance on today? Okay. Hold that in your mind as we spin the wheel. Mm. So take your time, bring to your mind what you need guidance on, and let the wheel choose a book for you. This book came up in our last live and it came up again from all the 50 books. Okay, so the name of the book that came up is The Mindful Path to Self Compassion, Freeing Yourself from Destructive Thoughts and Emotions by Christopher K. Germer. So before I open the book, we have a comment. So let me read through that and then we will dive into the book. Durgesh says, yeah, I often thought a certain person, a certain place, a certain achievement would make me happy. But all that comes from childhood programming where I was only rewarded if I achieved better grades. Exactly. We were told that we were a good boy or good girl if we get good grades, if we don't do a lot of mischievous stuff. And that has followed us at different stages of our life. And I'm happy to hear that, that you had this realization that, Your happiness cannot be found in those places. It is here, and you just need to give yourself the permission to access it. And that's it. It's simple as that. And our mind is always like, it cannot be that simple. So it keep on building these impossible standards for ourselves that it must be difficult. This happiness is everyone is chasing after that, so it must be difficult to get it. So yeah, you have to fill this standard, this rule and everything, and then you will get that. So Durgesh, congratulations on having that insight and moving towards you know giving yourself the permission to be happy. Durgesh says, yep, exactly. I'm glad that this reading resonated with you. Ali says Indonesia. Okay, it seems like Ali is saying that she is, or he is, Ali is saying that he or she is from Indonesia. And yeah, welcome. Okay, now let me open the book and see what wants to come through that book. And until then, if you guys resonated with the reading or with the discussion or with the meditation, anything so far, basically, and if you want to help me, support me keep the space alive, then you're welcome to make a donation, because every single contribution that you're going to make is going to help me create more resources, and is going to keep some other free resources that I don't have here. But yeah, help me keep that going on so that I can provide a space for a lot of people who need some support but can't have that. So, yeah, if you want to support that, you are welcome to do that through a donation. And if you can't, that's all right as well. Okay, let me open the book. I'm choosing some numbers for us to play a game. Okay, my dear ones. So I invite you guys to take a moment and see which number are you feeling called to between 43 to 216, and share that in the comments. Again, no rush, take your time, share that, and I will pick a number randomly. Okay? Thank you, Simon. Simon was pretty quick. Thank you, Patty. Oh, your numbers are pretty close. Okay. Durgesh also chose that very same numbers. You guys have chosen pretty close or tight knit numbers. Beautiful. Okay, Simon says, hi Anisha and all. Hello, Simon. Welcome. And thank you for choosing a number. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Caitlin, and welcome. Happy to have you here. By the way, guys, Caitlin is another wonderful teacher here. And I would recommend, joining her lives or checking out her work. She has a lot of tracks on affirmations. Um, Jess, thank you, Jess. Okay, so let's see now. Anyone else who would like to share a number? Thank you, Sumit. So let's see, which number am I feeling most called to? A lot of double numbers came up today. So the number that I'm feeling most called to is 199, and the number has been chosen by Caitlin for all of us. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, so let's see what wants to come through page 199. Hmm. So there is this heading, and the heading says altruism and your well-being. I guess last time also, Caitlin, when we chose your number few lives ago, something came around that, or you resonated with that. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, a lot of your altruism is coming your way. So the author says, Caitlin says, "Ooh, altruism, strong word." Yeah, it's just selfless giving, you know. So difficult to do, but yeah, pretty meaningful. So the author says, the psychologist Martin Seligman, who is also the founder of positive psychology. So the psychologist Martin Seligman says that people seek happiness in three different ways. Okay, happiness again, seeked in. Sneaked in. Okay. So yeah, people seek happiness in three ways, three different ways: the pleasant life, the engaging life, and the meaningful life. Research has shown that pleasure contributes less to overall happiness than either being fully engaged in your life or having a meaningful life. So, the pleasure part, like how you feel when you win a game, when you are scrolling through social media and getting that hit of dopamine, when you're watching TV, so that, or when you're eating your favorite snack. So the pleasure part, so the momentary rush of this good feeling that you feel, basically pleasure. So it do not plays that much of a part in having an overall happy life. So that is not the way. Pleasure is not the way, and we all kind of know it that short-term pleasure do not um means or leads to long-term happiness. So that was the first way in which people seek happiness, the pleasant life. The second way is the engaging life. So the author says being engaged means knowing your strength and building them into your relationship and leisure activities. So that is the definition of being engaged according to Martin Seligman. So it means that knowing what you're good at, and then using them to build, you know, using them in relationships, in the leisure activities, the things that you do for fun. So, when you are good at a task, you can become completely absorbed in it. You enter the flow state, which is a deeply satisfying experience. So, the second part, the engagement part, the engaging life is, when you're really good at some things, when you have this quality, when this is your strength, you know it, and you do that task, it feels fun, It is like, yeah, you feel happy when you are doing something that you like to do, and you are in it, you are in that flow state where you don't have any sense of time and where you can sit for hours maybe and don't realize what is happening. So, that is the second place in which the second way in which people find happiness. And okay, there are some comments before I continue. Let me read that. So, Caitlin has summarized three ways in which we find happiness: pleasure, engagement, and meaning. liking this pleasure isn't necessarily sustainable, so doesn't add as much. Exactly that what the author mentions, that research has, found that the pleasure part do not lead to an overall happy life. Sanchit says true that the real joy is continuous, not abstract. Thank you for, your share, Sanchit, and I'm glad that it resonated. And thank you, Sarah, for the compliment. Okay. Yeah, going back to the third way in which we seek happiness, which is a meaningful life. So, according to Martin Seligman, a meaningful life is one in which in which you use your strength for the greater good, something larger than yourself. Altruistic pursuits and meta meditation fit into this later category. So basically, in the second one, when you are engaged, you were using it, you were doing something that you're good at, something you enjoy, whether it is in terms of your relationship or whether it is the task that you do. So your relationship or your work, and you find happiness that way. And then the third way is through a meaningful life. And what a meaningful life is when you use that strength for someone else. When you use it to help someone else in any manner, when you are, doing it selflessly, you are doing something that you're good at selflessly for other people, for the world. So that is the third way in which people, find happiness, by living a meaningful life. So, okay, give me a second. Yeah, so I think, okay, so the author mentions a test that they have to help you find your approach to happiness. And the name of it is Approaches to Happiness Questionnaire. Approaches to Happiness Questionnaire. And it is like a test developed by Chris Peterson, who is from University of Michigan. And they have that, test. So you can, search it on the internet if you want to learn about, not just in the concept, but also learn how you have been looking for happiness. So, yeah. So, the name of the test again is Approaches to Happiness Questionnaire, and it is by Chris Peterson. So, yeah, you can find it and see which one is the way. Which one is it? Because, this reading also reminds me of another resource that I read about where the people were asked that there were two groups of people, and both groups of people were given some money, for example, $100. And the first group of people was asked that they can, buy anything through it, they can buy anything for themselves from that money. Okay. And the second group of people were asked to use that money for someone else. And they both went on and they, bought something from that money. And when they, come back and I guess did the test or something, I don't remember the exact study, but yeah, when they, analyzed everything that what was happening, they realized that the second group who used that money for someone else actually felt happy for a longer time compared to the ones that used that money for themselves. So I guess there is a clear indication from research also that if you help others, then you are helping yourself in a way. Okay, so let's go through the comments. Um, mm, okay, and we have a recent comment where Durgesh says, "Wow, I recently finished a course here on Insight Timer, and he talked about the same research." Yeah, it is a pretty famous research, and I'm glad that this that it came up, and I chose like, yeah, let's share that whatever is popping in my head because it is a clear reminder that this is what the life wants to send your way, Durgesh. This is what the life is indicating you to do more of. Okay, Jess says, wow, today I started a positive psychology course based on Seligman's work. Wonderful. Oh, amazing. Love the alignment. And I would never heard of him. I have never heard of him before. And now you brought him up. The universe is telling me something, I think. Exactly. Oh my goodness. I love the beautiful alignment that is happening here, guys. And and yeah, listen to the signs, whatever it is that you think the universe is telling you, Jess, and take that action. Okay, Sanchez says, doing what's right selflessly. Exactly. Just sharing your gifts, to those who need them. And, and I want to share with you that it really works because I did started doing, I started taking an action. I did started taking that action in relation to this reading this year at the start of this year. I think around Valentine's week. I was like, yeah, I want to give more love. And the only way that I can, right now is using my skills, and offering a lot of, um, I cannot mention that specifically here. I'm not allowed to mention any, outside resources. But I gifted some stuff to a lot of people and, to those who need them. And I still do. Um, and when I was with them, with all the amazing women, in that space, I felt this beautiful sense of fulfillment within me when I see a transformation happening in their life because of just this amount of time that I gave them. So, yes, it really works. That's why I'm like, that's what I wanted to say. Um, and if you want to know what I was talking about, I will share towards the end where you can find it. Okay. Simon says, may I ask what 43 said? Brief explanation. Um, okay, you mean what the reading said? So you can read Caitlin's comment where where she summarized like the three ways that the author mentioned that, sorry, not the author, that Martin Seligman says that are the three ways in which we find happiness, which is pleasure, engagement, and meaning. Pleasure means, the stuff that you feel good doing, like watching TV, scrolling, eating something good, that short term pleasure. But it do not lead to lasting happiness. The second thing is engagement, doing what you're good at, and using it in your relationships and work and getting into that flow state. So that is the second way in which people, find happiness. The third way is in which people look for happiness is a meaningful life, doing what they're good at, using their gifts and their strength to help others. And that is, that really leads to a lasting sense of happiness. And also engagement as well. It also leads to that. So that was a brief summary of what we covered in the last reading, Simon. Um, okay. So I guess it is time for us to wrap the live. And now it's also time for me to share all the resources that I was saying I will share towards the end of this live. Um, so first things first, in case you guys joined late in this live, or if you want to revisit the meditation that we did, or listen to the readings again, then you can do that by, give me a second to show you where. Yeah. So you can do that by going to my profile, going to the about section, and scrolling all the way down. And here you will find this. And here you will find this particular live as well as all my previous live in the series of Wheel of Wisdom. And today's would be available after like 15 or 20 minutes because it takes time to get uploaded. But yeah, after that you can check out for episode number 137. Yeah. We have had 137 lives so far, and we only started in January of this year. Okay. Oh, Kathleen, it was lovely to have you here. And Kathleen says, thank you for the peace and calm. I'm glad that you felt that way in the space, Kathleen. And if anyone else also, who is a regular here and who knows what I'm going to take talk next about and wants to leave, you're welcome to say goodbye. And, I would love to have you in the next live. And for the ones who joined for the very first time, I want to share some things with you that I've created for you. Okay. So I would love if you can stay for like 7 more minutes. Okay, Simon says, thank you. Sanchez says, thank you, Didi. Looking forward for more lives. I am glad that this resonated with you. Um, Durgesh says, bye everyone. Bye, Durgesh. It was lovely reading your comments. A lot of love to you, Eve, as well. And the beauty of flowers. Karen says, thank you, Nisha. Will attend your upcoming lives. I would look forward to that. And okay, and now it's time to share all the resources that I have for you guys. Okay, so my dear ones, there are three places in which you can find all of my resources. Okay, the first place is um, when you go to my profile on the home page, scroll all the way down. Okay, you will find something known as playlist section. Okay, yeah. Playlist section. And here I have arranged all my tracks in these four playlists so it is easier for you guys to navigate. So you can look at them and see which one, what is it that you need. Okay. I'm not going deeper into that because it might take a lot of time. But yeah, you can go through them and see which one do you want. Which one do you need right now, which is the resource. And by the way, I have just below that at the bottom of my homepage this group, which is known as Wonderful Beings. And I currently have 108 members here. And what this community is for is that after each live, within 5 or 10 minutes, I actually upload the summary of the live here. So, like the name of the books, the readings, and the meditation that we read. So if you do not want to go through, watch the recording, and if you don't want to do the meditation and just read the readings, you can do that here as well. Okay, I would love to have you in this little community. Um, so yeah, we were talking about the three places where you can find all of my resources. So this is the first place, the playlist section. The second place is my courses section. Okay, so you will find 7 courses that I have created for you guys here. They are related to, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, how to accept when life doesn't go your way and process it, and, how to be more mindful in your life. We talked about it a little bit that, how to feel more alive, how to be more present. So yeah, you can check out these courses if any of the things that I mentioned, any of the topics that I mentioned resonate with you, and watch that particular course. And I hope that it would serve you well. And if, you know, and when you check out the playlist and the courses, and if you do not find the resource that you're looking for, if you do not find the right guidance or support that you need at this moment of your life, then there is this third resource where I am pretty sure that you would find it. So you can go to my profile, go to the About section, and here when you scroll down, you will find anything, you will find like a way to work more personally with me, like in a more one-on-one setting. So if you would like that kind of additional support as you go through, whatever life has thrown your way, then I would love to be there for you. Okay. And there are some special gifts as well here. And I have also mentioned a little bit about my journey, like in more detail, actually, what I have gone through and what I've learned and everything. So, yeah, if you want to know more about that, then you can check that out here. Um, so yeah, I guess that's it for this live. And if you guys, found anything of value from this live, if you got that reminder that you needed at this moment, and if you would like to support me, you can do so by making a donation because these donations allow me to keep doing these lives and to keep creating a lot of free meditations and give out a lot of free sessions, to anyone who need them. So yeah, if you want to join that circle of compassion, then you're welcome to do that. You're welcome to do that through a donation. And I am so grateful, that you guys stayed with so much patience to listen to all of that. And thank you guys for your presence, for all the love that you sent my way, and for the lovely interaction as well. I bow down to the divine within you all. I will see you day after tomorrow. Bye bye. And don't forget to check the resources that I mentioned, okay?